Now we will hear from Reverend Pat Jobe. Thank you, Pat.
There we go. I need to begin by saying how grateful I am to be here. I know speakers always say that, but I was with a group of Unitarians a few weeks ago, and a man got up and he said, "I'm an actuary." He said, "I work with numbers all the time, and I can tell you that the odds of this many amazing people being in the same room week after week, the odds are absolutely astronomical against that happening. And yet you do it. You bring together all these wonderful people Sunday after Sunday, and that certainly applies to you folks on Martha's Vineyard. Thank you so much for having me back. I had a great time when Jan Pogue got me up there, and I know she's going to watch this on YouTube later. So, Jan, thank you. I want to point out the painting that is behind me on the wall. I bought it at a UU auction. It is a painting of a young African American woman looking at the American flag questioningly. And as we're thinking about Frederick Douglass's address in 1852 and the dreams deferred by so many of the promises in the Declaration of Independence, that painting is so germane to what we're talking about today. And also that wonderful piano piece that opened the service, that riff on America the Beautiful and how it fell apart and then came back together at the end. That's our hope, that the America the Beautiful promise will come together at the end. We've got a lot of work left to do. I want to warn you all that I am a mystic. And my evidence that I present for the fact that I am a mystic is that I believe in Santa Claus. Now, let me give you two reasons that I believe in Santa Claus, and maybe some of you will come along with me. The first reason is that when I was about 8 years old, I came home from school and I said to my mama, people at school are saying there's no Santa Claus, that it's not possible for a little guy in a sleigh pulled by reindeer to fly all around the world and put toys out for children on Christmas Eve. Just can't happen. Mama said, honey, when you stop believing, he stops coming. So I never stopped believing, and he's never stopped coming. The other reason I believe in Santa Claus is because of Einstein's theory of relativity. He said both time and space can be bent, especially when an object approaches the speed of light. And clearly, Santa's sleigh must fly close to, if not beyond, the speed of light. So there you go. I hope I've solved that for everybody involved. In Lincoln, the movie that Steven Spielberg produced back in 2012, Tommy Lee Jones plays Thaddeus Stevens, the radical anti-slavery congressman from Pennsylvania who argued for the 13th Amendment. And the movie does a great job of showing how the 13th Amendment came into being, the amendment that outlawed involuntary servitude or slavery. During the debate, one of the Democrats, and please note that the Democrats were on the wrong side of history during that particular debate. One of the Democrats got up and confronted Thaddeus Stevens and said, do you, sir, honestly believe that all men are created equal? And Tommy Lee Jones replies, you, sir, are the clearest evidence I have that all men are not created equal. An illustration of what we're wrestling with today. Created equal. We all know people who we don't think are our equals. We know a right smart of them when 400 white supremacists marched through Washington yesterday wearing masks and flying the Confederate flag. We have people in our lives who don't feel equal to us. But in order to understand that phrase, in order to make that phrase operational in our lives, we have to add and are endowed with certain unalienable rights: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Then the affirmation becomes about human rights, about shared humanity. Everybody may not be our equal. We may be in a position of maybe knowing a little more or even earning a little more than some of our fellow human beings, but we are equal to all in terms of our shared humanity, in terms of equal rights: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And we know we're not there yet, even by that standard. We know there are people who are systematically discriminated against, hurt, even not given enough to eat, even shot down in horrible military operations. We know that equality is still a dream. Equality is still something to reach for, as Frederick Douglass pointed out so well in that 1852 speech. The other thing I want to bring to mind is Gandhi's position during World War II. He was arguing for independence for India. And sadly, history took a bad turn during that whole movement, too. Gandhi hated the idea of Pakistan, did not want to see India divided against itself, but Churchill supported it and manipulated it. And Jinnah became the victor in that battle, and Pakistan was carved off, and millions died as Muslims left India to move to Pakistan, and Hindus died as they moved from Pakistan to come back into India. It was a horrible moment in history, but Gandhi gave Churchill and Roosevelt the absolute dickens through that process. He said, "Why in the world would you expect Indians to fight for freedom when we don't have it ourselves?" He even lampooned Roosevelt's four freedoms. He said, "You talk about four freedoms, but you don't mention the freedom to be free." So just as minorities in this country and women in this country have had to battle for freedom, the Indian people have had to battle for freedom. And their victory in 1947 to gain independence from England was sadly twisted and harmed by the creation of Pakistan and the division of India into two countries. I want to conclude on a hopeful note. We are Unitarian Universalists. We are on the right side of history. We know the difference between right and wrong, and we're working for it. We are working to have an amazing victory this fall in the midterm elections. But even if we don't, even if we're stuck with the status quo for another 2 years, and how that grieves us to think about, we're still Unitarian Universalists. We still believe in the inherent worth and dignity of all. And we will continue to affirm that in our social action, in our volunteering in the community, and in the groups to which we give our financial support. And thank you again for supporting the Zambrano family in Davidson, North Carolina, who lost their beloved Julio through an illegal deportation in March of 2025. You folks were so kind to support our effort to help that family. 8 congregations have worked together to help that family. And we have heard from Julio that he survived the earthquakes down in Venezuela, but he still needs to reunite with his wife and his 2 children, one of whom was born after he was deported. Blessings on you all. You do great work, and you're a great bunch of people, even if it is a statistical anomaly that you're able to gather there every Sunday. Such amazing, wonderful people gathering there every Sunday. And I understand you're now going to transition into a service to welcome new members. And new members are the lifeblood of any congregation. We always need new members. We always need wonderful people who are willing to step forward and be part of our amazing congregations, our statistical anomalies of amazing congregations. Best wishes to you all. I surround you with love and light, and keep up the great work that you do.